Today's video is brought to you by Health Code Complete Meal Shakes and by viewers like you. It is somewhat breathtaking that they can get us AUS-10 steel on full tang knives for $30 to $35. And in this economy, we're all watching our dollars and cents right now. These blades are gonna have a much better steel choice than what you're gonna get on, say, a Mora Cans Bowl around the same price, or the Sawtellus FX, which is almost gonna be double the price. But we'll discuss these guys a little bit later. And with a drop point as well as gut hook version, Schrade is definitely coming into the New Year's swing with the Exertion series.
This is a lot of fun. Look at that bend, man. Sweet. Very precise tip. I wouldn't be surprised if this snaps.
But at that price point, there's gotta be compromises made in the design. So the first compromise, the sheath. Now the second compromise is the handle, but it might not be what you think. And so we gotta discover today, are those compromises enough to make this a no-go or easily overlooked and to be able to put in rotation. And if you're new to the channel or you've been watching for a while and just haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. Smash that like button, it really does help. And then make sure to hit the bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new videos, reviewing and testing out new equipment and gear. And you regular subscribers here at the channel, thank you so much. Without you, I can't do what I do. You guys are amazing, and thank you for being a part of the Gideon's Tactical family. Well, as we're hanging out back here by the fire, we're gonna dive right in. And though these are designed as hunting knives, hence the gut hook, and me not being a hunter at this point in time, not having the opportunity yet in my life to do that, I'm gonna be mainly focusing on the drop point version. We'll run in that gut hook version a few times throughout the video, but I'm gonna be taking this more as a perspective as a basic camp knife and or utility knife that you may use around the campsite or your property. Numero uno is just the shape. I really like the profile. This is an excellent profile, very simple, very basic, but your eye is drawn to it with those handle scales, the full tang, a nice, just classic drop point. 4-inch blade, 3.75 actual cutting edge, and it's gonna be about 0.156 or 5/32 of an inch thick, which I think is perfect. Sporting a hollow grind. Now, hollow grinds I'm not against depending on their purpose and the size of the tool. They can be very slicey and have a lot of finesse and capability and be about as good as slicers as a Scandi ground knife, but be better food prep tools.
This is about max you would do. Ooh. There we go. So went through that twisted knot. No problem, nice and straight. This thing, you know, knife this light, this small, it's not going to be able to chop at all. But if in a pinch you had to do something like this, hopefully it would handle it. Yeah, there we go. Nice. There we go. Now this is a very precise tip on this, so I wouldn't be surprised if this snaps. I'm not gonna crank it, pry bar it. I mean, that'll just immediately snap it. So, wow, nothing yet. Oh my gosh, wow. I'm surprised. Now again, if I get really thin on that tip and go sideways, I mean, I'm gonna snap it. It's just so thin. That's just what's gonna happen. But I mean, I was getting in a good 1/4 inch and rocking side to side, so I wouldn't be prying with it, but that held up better than I thought it would. Just sitting around a fire, having just made one, and then you just want to whittle, just kind of have some fun, do some woodworking. It feels very controllable because it's a hollow grind and a compact blade. It just means you can manipulate it. I mean, and it's just like filleting this piece of wood right there. You can see that's beautiful. I really dig that, and it makes it fast to shape. Wow, man. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm really enjoying this knife. Yeah, it's a benefit that I've always found with hollow grinds in woodworking is, like Scandis, they just like remove so much material so quickly that if you need to really break down and cut down the wood to a particular point, or whatever you're carving or doing, they do it so well. Paper thin curl right there. That's excellent. So I mean, I'm really digging this. This is cool.
But I want to take a quick time out to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Health Code Complete Meal Shakes. A lot of times meals are like the last thing on the list. Unlike trying to grab like a protein bar or something, which sure, it's got some protein and some stuff in it, but you're left feeling really hungry and empty inside real quick. This is a true meal replacement. It's going to come with 400 calories per serving, as well as 27 grams of fat, healthy fats, as well as 27 grams of protein and 25 essential vitamins and minerals. And since it doesn't have any artificial ingredients, artificial sweeteners, or added sugars, it has no soy in it. It also is non-GMO. It's gluten-free and keto-friendly. There's really no reason to not use Health Code in your regular rotation when you're on the go, but you want a full meal and you want something that's going to be healthy for you. So guys, I encourage you, check out the link over to Health Code below, as well as my exclusive 15% off promo code you can use towards your purchase, and check out all the benefits that Health Code has to offer. Now with the gut hook version, it's ground in on both sides, so that means that it's going to be extra sharp, and it is stupid sharp, able to cut cord extremely easily. So having never, cleaned game, I don't know exactly how important all that is, but I was impressed with the edge geometry of it and how thick it is behind that gut hook. It's not super thin. And outside of batoning, you're not going to really want to be able to baton with this. You would be able to do all of the other tasks that you've seen in this video, even the choking up and the fine carving, because of how large that platform is above the gut hook that you can put your thumb on still and use it rather well. So in a lot of ways, if you see the value of a gut hook, you almost don't even need to go with the secondary, drop point, unless you're going to want to do some batoning with the tool, or think that's something you might be doing. As an added bonus, this does have a nice sharp 90-degree spine on both models that will absolutely throw sparks. We'll get a little bit more in detail on that in just a moment, but I was happy to see that as well. But now to the first compromise, the sheath. Now it is polymer, so that's good. As a hunting knife, it should be pretty quiet. It is not. It is not ambidextrous. It has a large belt clip. That's fine. You can throw it on there, pretty quick. Now, the retention test fails that, so the retention is not excellent. If you're carrying on your belt, it'll be fine, but it's not ideal. It would have been nice to have it just a little snappier. And then this is just kind of like a miss to me. I mean, if you're going to invest the effort into trying to give you a sharpener and a fire starter, this is not the way to do it. Now on one side, there is a fire starter that threw sparks better than I expected. And so somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but what that means is you actually have to take your sheath off in order to use the fire starter. And it's about an inch off of the body, so you're not able to get really close to the tinder. And in, sticky situations, man, you got to get that spark as close as you can. It's just not well designed. Then on the flip side, we have a V ceramic pull-through sharpener. These are terrible. I hate using them. I would not put this knife through that at all costs. And what really should have been done is just a small dedicated fire starter that you can remove and manipulate how you want, and instead had a ceramic rod right here like the fire steel, and had that to tune up our blades. So though it's better than nothing, I feel like there was wasted effort put into the accessories on the sheath and could have been just tuned to make it actually pretty impressive. Now the second compromise is the handle, but it might not be what you think. Ergonomically, it's excellent. I'm really happy with it. The jimping is pretty light overall, and I don't really even engage with it when I was using it in multiple grips. The Kraton handle scales have some nice texture to them that's better than micarta, particularly if you're thinking of it as a hunting knife. And they got a little bit of a palm swell, fill out my large size hands, plenty lanyard hole on the back. Good little guard there, but not super obnoxious. Just a perfect, just general utility grip, size, and feel when you are using the tool. And I really enjoyed using it. I like the fact that they designed it the way that they did, ergonomically, thickness, length, the dimensions, and the idea of it being full tang with Kraton scales is a great idea. This is where it kind of falls short, and I'm going to try and show you. I'm actually going to show a second shot because this isn't going to quite do it justice. There should have been a third screw in the center here. Basically, because it's Kraton and it just flexes, it's polymer, and it's not rigid polymer, it gives and kind of like, it moves around a little bit. If it was just like a Zytel or Gryvery, it would have been fine, and they could have just done 2 screws. But I can literally pull the scales away from the handle, so gunk, food, blood, guts is going to seep in underneath these scales very easily, because you can actually get, depending on how it is, kind of like almost like an air pocket under there, and there should have been a third screw there. Now, the benefit, there's a positive flip to this, is that this is a full tang knife and it's not skeletonized underneath. So, I mean, it's just a hunk of AUS-10 steel. That is really nice to see. So there's an extra layer of durability, and it is easy to fix. You can just kind of pull the scales apart and get some super glue or something in there, glue it down, or a lot of people I know do skateboard tape or electrical tape or whatever around the handle, just to add a little extra layer of security there. Another compromise though is that the hardware is pretty cheap. I stripped out the rear screw on the gut hook version, trying to remove the scale just to show you guys. I just wanted to do it. They're spinning, so I get my 2 torque screw drivers, and I stripped it out like right away. So it's just low quality metal there. Obviously, again, we're talking $30, but I mean, it's a compromise. So I wouldn't try to take those scales off if I were you, unless you really go slow. Probably get like the exact bolt screw, or excuse me, like wrenches to hold your driver so there's no accidental hopping and skipping, because it'll strip those things right away. All right, so the sun and the cold are chasing me out of here, so I'm gonna try and wrap this up pretty quick for us. But as we dive into competitive options and pricing, I will have links in the description box below to all the affiliate networks that I regularly partner with, so that if either the Schrades or the competitive options make sense for you, appreciate when you use those hyperlinks below. Now, at between $30 and $35 that the Schrade is going to be going for, the Mora cans bowl comes to mind, made in Sweden, made in China, but nowhere near the edge retention that AUS-10 steel is going to have. We got that full tang that is exposed. This is a partial tang, but very tough. 90-degree spine, excellent bushcraft tool. I would argue that the Schrade is definitely going to be more ideal for the hunting tasks and food prep and some of that type of stuff. Just kind of the way I prefer to use tools. I would gravitate probably a little bit more to this, though for straight up bushcraft, the cans bowl is still going to just be killer. Ambidextrous sheath for about that same price. And then we got this SOG Tellus, I believe is how you say it. FX. They also have the pocket knife version. I will be doing videos on both of these very soon. The pocket knife and the fixed blade. Full tang construction as well, high saber grind. It would be awesome, again, if Schrade did a version with this grind. I think that's excellent. Made in China as well. Cryo 440A, to my understanding. $60 currently is what these are going for. They might drop a little bit, probably to 50, but I mean, basically almost double the price. I'll take AUS-10 steel all day long over something that has 440 family, particularly when it's not 440C steel on it. So you are getting quite a bit, even though there's a few compromises, you are getting quite a bit of knife in this Exertion series from Schrade. And I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts. If you already own one, what's been your experience? What do you think about this tool overall? Is it worth pursuing? Do you see value in such an inexpensive but higher performing steel or not? Are the compromises too much? Leave comments below. Appreciate you guys so much for coming over, spending your time watching this video. Check out the other video popping up. If you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. And as always, remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.